and updating things. So tell us a little bit about Cotswolds Tours and Travel.
Sure. Yeah. So Cotswold Tours and Travel was founded by myself, my father, and my wife, Brittany, just over 10 years ago, based out of a real hobby from my dad as a local farmer, who was starting to offer some tours of the area really just as a hobby. What then suddenly came an idea from myself and my wife was to kind of turn that kind of hobby of touring people around the area into a real business. So we started offering chauffeur journeys all around the country with a specialty of obviously touring the Cotswolds. As each year kind of progressed, we kind of saw obviously a big need for kind of tourism in the area that needed kind of taken care of in terms of people being able to be driven around the area. And that was something that we started to offer. So obviously in terms of typical Cotswold villages and towns celebrating the countryside and the area, typically it started off as 1 to 2 day tours. And now anywhere we're offering anywhere from 1 to kind of 14, 15-day tours going further in and around the country as well. So honestly, we now do all kinds of tours from all kinds of hotels, going down all the way down to the South Cotswolds. North Cotswolds is our speciality. And what we really try to do is immerse people into local life. So we try to celebrate what is unique to the Cotswolds, what is unique to our area. So obviously the towns and villages and the charm of the stone and all the kind of history and all the stories that belong. But what we really try to do is get kind of customers introduced into local area, meeting local people, meeting local business owners, anything we can kind of get our hands on to really celebrate the countryside is kind of what our specialty is. We're very fortunate that has now led us to this year. We'll do about 1,300 day tours this year, a really big progression, up about 50% from last year, which has been amazing. We have 16 tour guides that are directly through our business with 9 vehicles, and then we kind of work with about 40 different subcontractors to celebrate the area. So yeah, we're very fortunate that we get to kind of work and celebrate the Cotswolds all day, every day of the year, pretty much. And we're just very blessed for what we've been given and the opportunities that have arose. And we represent many hotels and travel agencies all around the world, kind of celebrating the Cotswolds and the local area.
That's lovely. And certainly in my time that I've been in the Cotswolds, I've seen how your business has definitely progressed and sort of offering that unique offer. But hosting all those visitors then, what do you find they love about the Cotswolds after a tour of yourselves? You know, do you give them a different perspective?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously at the end of the day, anybody could obviously walk around the towns and villages and just be in awe of what is on offer. You know, obviously when you walk down certain high streets like Broadway and Chipping Camden and Stowe and Burford, you know, they're very beautiful and they offer a lot. I think obviously the guests love seeing those places, but I think what we try to celebrate and what we've worked out over the years is the things that can't really be found on the internet. Those hidden secrets, those stories that really kind of bring the area to life. Like, you know, walking down these streets is great and you're immersed and it's just beautiful. But the kind of our tour guides, we really try to find the fun stories, the interesting facts that, you know, you just can't find by yourselves. And those stories and really just kind of getting to know local life through their eyes as a local person. I think, you know, I'm very fortunate that I get to live out here in Texas different times of the year, as well as being in the Cotswolds. And living out here in America, it's very hard to get involved in local life, to meet like a local cheesemonger or to meet the local stone waller, different things, different craftsmen. It's very, very hard. Even local farmers, it's very hard out here in America to kind of get involved in local life. And I think, you know, when kind of typically we deal with international guests from America, when they come over, the Americans just love the fact that they can, you know, be in a little village like Guides in Power or Stanton and have the opportunity maybe to meet somebody that they just are just in awe at. They get to actually meet a real local person who kind of is very proud of the area, talks about what they do as maybe as a hobby or as a business. And those kind of stories, those interactions are really what kind of, I think, stand out what we do, and also stands out to the area. It's a blessing on the area of what we can actually offer as a community, is that there's a lot of people here with amazing stories that just live life and just think they're a normal human being, but they actually have some incredible stories and kind of activities to share and do. And that's what I think a lot of the visitors just love so much, is being able to get involved in local life and how kind of quaint and quiet it is compared to everyday life. And seeing the stone buildings and the villages obviously are incredible, but I really do think it's the villages and the meeting the locals and having the stories and the interactions that kind of take it that step further.
That's perfect. And I would definitely agree when I'm meeting, as you say, particularly American operators, but any overseas operators really, that definitely that whole unique meeting the local is sort of what they love and what's really quite different, I suppose. So have you noticed any, been around for over 10 years as a business, if you think back to when you started, what are the big changes that have happened, do you think, from a tourism perspective that businesses need to be aware of?
Yeah, I think it kind of alludes to the last point, is that in terms of life in America and the American everyday life is getting busier and busier, that the more simple, kind of down to earth kind of interactions is honestly what kind of people are craving for more than I've ever seen before. When we started the company, and I used to tour guide myself, it was something that I started to slowly notice. Well, it almost now is something that almost all of our bookings are really looking for, that off the beaten track, that quaint, that local experience. People are really looking for that, and that is definitely something that has got kind of stronger and stronger each year. And obviously the more we now have different experiences to offer, it also we're known for that, so now people are reaching out, so that kind of goes in hand. But yeah, I think food and drink is now becoming a very big important aspect too. We always used to get asked about it, but definitely more than ever, kind of pub lunches, quintessential afternoon teas, kind of, and the farm shop aspect with Dalesford and some of the other farm shops in the area are definitely becoming really well known. So the food and drink aspect is definitely becoming a huge important kind of element of the either it's a day trip or whether it's a 4 or 5 day trip. So that's one thing. And then for us, I mean, it kind of, we're not in the group tour sector. We only do private tours, but we're finding that more and more people want that exclusive private experience. They want to maybe just be by themselves and have their own kind of individual experience in the countryside. So we're finding that more and more people are kind of, maybe since COVID, things have changed where they kind of want to be by themselves. They don't want the risk of maybe getting ill or somebody else or anything like that. So we're finding that typically we're seeing a lot of demand for private tours in particular. Trying to think if there's anything else that really stands out that's different. But I really, it's the first point. A lot of people really wanted to get off the track, kind of quaint experiences. That is definitely something that has got stronger and stronger. And then with the options that we're now offering is becoming the main kind of thing that people are wanting. That's definitely different than it was 10 years ago for sure.
Perfect. Yeah. And I would definitely say that there has been a trend towards smaller groups or individual families, individual travelers, or that multi-generational family as well, tours.
Well, that
Okay.
actually links. That gives me just an idea. Yes. And I think that's another thing, is that previously multi-generational families used to just settle with, okay, we're just going to the countryside, we're all going to do the same thing. Well, what we're finding actually is a lot of families now are wanting to entertain the kids more than ever before. And we're actually, that's actually something that just popped to my brain, is that we are now getting asked a lot more of what can the kids do? What can we do to entertain the kids? Whereas it used to be just like the kids would do whatever. But it now is definitely more interested. We're getting a lot more questions individually about how to entertain the whole family. And that's one thing we've really had to push, and we're still looking for at the moment, is more family experiences outside what is typically offered than the family attractions that are found online. So yeah, that's definitely another aspect that's growing for sure.
Oh, that's really good, Eddie, because that links in with our Help to Thrive project for definite. Because one of the things that we've identified is those family experiences. So, and food and drink, as you say. So,
Yeah,
hopefully, we'll find you some more experiences as
great.
well as part of this. But before we finish, are there any top tips you'd give for businesses that you
Sure.
think they should be doing?
Yeah, I think it depends. Obviously, my expertise is a little bit more lean towards the international market. So this might not be fully relevant if you're working with the domestic market. But in terms of the American market, is the really local, authentic product experience service. Is really what the Americans in particular are wanting. So over the years, the more rural, the more local, or the more authentic the experiences is, the better it is perceived. And that also links with a personality that is offering that experience or offering that service. That the Americans love the English personality. Obviously, the barrier of speaking works greatly because it's all understood. But when they come across somebody that really thrives, is very proud about what they do, has a great experience, that I mean, they will jump all over a personality. Like some of the people that we do experiences with. So we do various different off the beaten track experiences that aren't found on the internet. So like different things like sheepdog demonstrations and private cheese experiences, and baking in private afternoon tea cottages, and doing lots of kind of really fun off the beaten track ideas. That is the personalities that win. Yes, they love the fact of doing a skill or kind of an activity that isn't necessarily found online, but the personality is what always kind of shines through. So definitely for the international market, that personality, that outgoing, that bubbliness, that there's someone that can kind of make them laugh is always what we look for in our different experiences holders. And it's just looking always to do something unique. What can you offer that maybe another part of the area isn't offering? So I guess, it's really kind of celebrating that USP of kind of what do you do that maybe another local business isn't doing, or even a different business in a different part of the country isn't doing. And again, that's what we did to kind of make ourselves stand out. That's what gave us such growth, was trying to find out, hey, there's a lot of tour companies in the area. If we're going to grow, what can we do to kind of come up with unique ideas that aren't currently being offered? And so for us, that was the unique experience tours weren't being offered to the mass US market, and the travel agents and DMCs that we were working with just weren't offering any unique experiences. So we were one of the first companies that really went out there at mass, and now we have 75 different experiences that can be offered other than just kind of sightseeing tours. And that's what has made us stand out, and that's what a lot of the agencies and DMCs will come to us, because we have ideas that no other company have available. And that kind of leads to any companies that are listening to this. We're always open for new ideas. We're always looking for new partners in the area. We want to celebrate the Cotswolds. We want to celebrate locals that deserve to be celebrated. This doesn't even necessarily have to be a business. This could be an employee within a business that has a certain skill or hobby. And we're more than happy to come facilitate, figure out how to get you to market, because we're very, very fortunate. We have the direct consumer and we have the agencies to kind of sell the experiences. But we want to celebrate, those kind of who maybe aren't known to tourism, how to bring them closer to tourism, how to celebrate them, how to put some obviously money in the pocket, and also to create a better product, so that then, our American visitors or any international visitors that come, or domestic market, suddenly the Cotswolds is known online. It's also known in books and travel magazines as the place to come, which then obviously it makes hotels busier. It makes us busier as tour guides. It makes everyone's lives busier. And that's what we want to do. Is we really love the Cotswolds. We're very, very blessed of what we've got on our doorstep. And obviously the towns and villages are great, but what we know works, and what I think will, be the long-term growth of the area, is how can we celebrate the people that are there, and what the skills and activities and, some of the heritage, the culture that deserves to be celebrated. There's a certain person or a certain business that maybe can bring that to life, and make that area a lot more well-known. We're all ears to kind of help support businesses like that. So yeah, I think just going back to it, top tips, just personality, finding what you're unique at, finding something different that isn't being offered at the moment. especially in terms of like hotels, accommodation. There's a lot of very similar businesses. What can you do different? Is there a certain experience that you can provide Americans that are Americans? Is there something you can do when guests check in that's different to any other hotel? Any ideas like that? We're all ears to kind of help and try kind of, with yourselves as well, try to come up with different things that haven't been offered before.
That's perfect, Eddie, and that's great that you've decided that you're willing to help and be sort of an ambassador business for the Cotswolds. And I know from speaking to operators and DMCs, as you've already mentioned, your name and sort of company are already have got that well-established reputation. So so thank you for today,
No,
and we will share this with the businesses.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's great. Well, appreciate your time, and I wish you everyone the best of